What if I told you that almost everything you believe about fitness is bro science, outdated myths, or straight up lies designed to sell you supplements you don't need? From protein timing to cardio killing gains, we were about to demolish 30 fitness myths that have been sabotaging your progress for years. Your gym routine is about to get completely flipped upside down. Let's destroy some sacred cows.
Myth number 1. You need protein within 30 minutes post-workout. The anabolic window lie. The fitness industry has drilled this into your head. Consume protein within 30 minutes of training or you'll lose all your gains. Supplement companies built empires on this myth. It's almost completely false. The anabolic window is actually 24 to 48 hours, not 30 minutes. Your body doesn't suddenly stop building muscle because you didn't chug a shake immediately. What matters is total daily protein intake, not precise timing. Studies show muscle protein synthesis remains elevated for up to 48 hours post-workout. That post-workout shake? Convenient, but not magical. You're not losing gains by showering first. The urgency was manufactured to sell you expensive protein powder in single-serve packets. Your muscles don't have a timer. The supplement industry does. Myth number 2. Lifting makes women bulky. Women avoid weight training because they're terrified of looking bulky or manly. This myth has robbed millions of women of strength gains and better body composition. It's biologically absurd. Women have 15 to 20 times less testosterone than men, the hormone primarily responsible for muscle growth. Female bodybuilders who are bulky are either genetic outliers, enhanced with steroids, and/or both, and they train specifically for years to achieve that look. The average woman lifting weights will get toned, strong, and lean, not bulky. That toned look you want? It's literally muscle definition, which requires building muscle through resistance training. You can't accidentally become a bodybuilder any more than you can accidentally become a brain surgeon. The weights won't make you bulky. Avoiding them will keep you weak. Myth number 3. Cardio kills your gains. Gym bros everywhere preach that cardio will destroy your muscle gains. They avoid it completely, believing any running will make them shrink. This is half-truth amplified into mythology. Excessive cardio can interfere with muscle growth. Marathon training while trying to bulk is counterproductive. But moderate cardio, 20 to 30 minutes 3 to 4 times per week, doesn't kill gains and actually improves recovery by increasing blood flow and cardiovascular capacity. Professional bodybuilders do cardio. Athletes do cardio. The human body isn't so fragile that a jog erases your bench press. The myth comes from people doing hours of cardio while eating in a massive deficit. The deficit kills gains, not the cardio itself. That 30 minutes run isn't stealing your muscles. Your terrible diet and recovery are. Myth number 4. Muscle turns to fat when you stop training. People believe that if you stop lifting, your muscle literally transforms into fat. This is like believing your car turns into a bicycle if you stop driving it. Muscle and fat are completely different tissue types. Muscle is muscle, fat is fat. One cannot become the other. They're as different as bone and blood. What actually happens? You stop training, muscle atrophy occurs, you lose muscle, and if you keep eating the same calories without training, you gain fat. The two processes happen simultaneously, but independently. You're not converting tissue. You're losing one type and gaining another. This myth persists because the visual result, softer, smaller physique, makes it look like transformation. Chemistry doesn't work that way. You can't turn chicken into pizza by leaving it in the fridge. Same principle. Myth number 5. Spot reduction works. Targeting fat loss. Do 1,000 crunches to lose belly fat. Do leg lifts to slim thighs. This is spot reduction, and it's biologically impossible. Yet the fitness industry sells entire programs based on this lie. Your body loses fat systematically, based on genetics, hormones, and overall body composition, not based on which muscles you work. Doing ab exercises builds ab muscles, but doesn't burn the fat covering them any more than doing arm exercises. Fat loss is systemic. You can't target it locally. Where you lose fat first and last is genetic programming you can't override with specific exercises. Those lose belly fat fast programs, they work through caloric deficit and overall fat loss, not targeted burning. You can't do side bends until your love handles disappear. Your body decides where fat comes off, and it doesn't take requests. Myth number 6. No pain, no gain. Pain means progress. No pain, no gain has injured more people than it has helped. The fitness industry romanticizes pain as proof of effective training. Pain is often proof of injury, not progress. Muscle soreness, DOMS, isn't required for growth. You can build muscle without being sore. Severe pain during exercise is your body screaming, "Stop." Sharp pain, joint pain, and excessive soreness are warning signals, not badges of honor. Soreness just means you did something your body wasn't adapted to yet. As you adapt, soreness decreases, but progress continues. Chasing pain leads to overtraining, injury, and burnout. That good pain concept? Marketing. Discomfort during hard sets? Normal. Sharp pain? Injury. Learn the difference or spend your life injured and making no progress while thinking you're hardcore.
Myth number 7. You can out-train a bad diet. "I'll just burn it off at the gym" is the battle cry of people making zero progress. The fitness industry loves this myth because it sells gym memberships and training programs while ignoring that diet is 70 to 80% of body composition. You cannot out-train a bad diet. A 30-minute run burns maybe 300 calories. A donut is 250 to 400 calories and takes 30 seconds to eat. Exercise is terrible for creating caloric deficits. It's too easy to eat back your burned calories. Exercise builds muscle, improves health, and helps body composition, but weight loss is determined in the kitchen. Bodybuilders say abs are made in the kitchen because it's true. You can train 6 days a week and still be overweight with poor nutrition. That training program you bought promising transformation, it won't work if you're eating garbage. Fix your diet first, or you're just a fit person hiding under fat. Myth number 8, more sweat equals better workout. People judge workout intensity by sweat volume. Sweatsuits, saunas, hot yoga, all designed to maximize sweating under the belief it means better results. Sweat measures thermoregulation, not workout quality. Sweat is your body cooling itself, nothing more. You can sweat buckets doing light exercise in heat and barely sweat during intense training in cool conditions. The sweat itself doesn't burn fat, build muscle, or detoxify anything. Your liver and kidneys handle detoxification. Water weight loss through sweat returns immediately when you rehydrate. It's not fat loss. Those products designed to make you sweat more, they're risking dehydration and heat illness while providing zero additional benefit. That person barely sweating during their workout might be working harder than you. They're just better adapted or cooler. Sweat is not an achievement metric. Myth number 9, lifting heavy makes you slow and inflexible. Athletes avoid weights because they believe strength training makes you muscle-bound, slow, and inflexible. This myth has somehow persisted despite every professional athlete lifting weights. Strength training, when done properly with full range of motion, actually improves flexibility and mobility. Olympic weightlifters are among the most flexible athletes. Powerlifters require significant mobility for proper form. What makes you slow and inflexible is lifting with terrible form through partial ranges of motion while neglecting mobility work. Strength training done correctly makes you faster, more powerful, and more resilient to injury. Every speed and power athlete lifts heavy. Sprinters, fighters, football players. That slow, stiff musclehead, poor training methodology, not inevitable result of lifting heavy. Strength is never a weakness. Myth number 10. You should always feel sore after training. People think if they're not sore the next day, they didn't train hard enough. They chase soreness as validation. Soreness is not a reliable indicator of workout effectiveness. As you adapt to training, soreness decreases dramatically even as you get stronger and build muscle. Advanced lifters rarely get sore from their normal training because their bodies have adapted. Soreness just means you did something unfamiliar or increased volume significantly. You can have incredibly effective workouts with zero subsequent soreness. Chasing soreness leads to constantly changing programs, preventing adaptation, overtraining, or doing unnecessary volume just to feel sore. That lack of soreness doesn't mean your workout failed. It means you're adapted and making consistent progress. Soreness is a side effect, not a goal. Myth number 11. Crunches and sit-ups build six-pack abs. People do endless crunches and sit-ups trying to build visible abs. This is the most common and futile exercise mistake in gyms worldwide. Abs are revealed through fat loss, not built through crunches. Everyone has abs. They're muscles that exist in every human. Visible abs require low body fat percentage, typically 10 to 15% for men, 15 to 20% for women. You can have incredibly strong, well-developed abs that are completely invisible under body fat. Crunches build ab strength and endurance, but don't burn meaningful fat and don't preferentially burn belly fat. Spot reduction doesn't exist. Want visible abs? Reduce your body fat through diet. Want strong abs?
Compound movements, squats, deadlifts, and planks beat crunches. Those people doing 500 crunches daily with no abs, they're wasting time. Lower your body fat or accept invisible abs. Myth number 12. Machines are safer than free weights. Gyms promote machines as safer, especially for beginners. This seems logical. Fixed path, controlled movement, no risk of dropping weight. It's backwards. Machines lock you into fixed movement patterns that don't match your body's natural biomechanics, often causing injury through repetitive, unnatural stress. Free weights force you to stabilize and move naturally, building functional strength and coordination. Machines teach you nothing about real-world movement. Beginners should start with free weights, using light loads and proper coaching, learning natural movement patterns from day one. Machines have their place as accessories, but building your foundation on machines creates weak, injury-prone athletes with strength that doesn't translate outside the gym. That machine might feel safer, but it's teaching your body dysfunctional movement patterns that will fail when you need real-world strength. Myth number 13. Supplements are necessary for results. Walk into any gym, and you'll see people convinced they need pre-workout, BCAAs, fat burners, and a dozen other supplements. The supplement industry is built on making you feel inadequate without their products. The truth? Only a handful of supplements have solid science. Creatine monohydrate, protein powder if you can't hit protein through food, vitamin D if deficient, and maybe caffeine. Everything else ranges from minimally effective to complete snake oil. You don't need BCAAs if you eat adequate protein. Pre-workout is just caffeine and marketing. Fat burners are mostly stimulants that don't actually burn fat. The fitness industry makes more money from supplements than training. There's massive incentive to convince you they're essential. That shelf of supplements, mostly expensive urine. Get your diet right, sleep well, train consistently. Supplements are the 2% edge after you've mastered the 98% fundamentals. Myth number 14. You need to train to failure every set. Hardcore bodybuilding culture preaches training to absolute failure, unable to complete another rep, on every set. This supposedly maximizes growth. It maximizes injury and burnout instead. Training to failure accumulates excessive fatigue, increases injury risk, extends recovery time, and isn't necessary for muscle growth. Most of your sets should stop 1 to 3 reps short of failure, RIR, reps in reserve. Occasional failure sets have their place, but making it standard practice destroys recovery and progress. Studies show training near failure, leaving 1 to 2 reps, builds just as much muscle with far less systemic fatigue. That person grinding out horrific form on every set isn't training harder than you. They're training stupider. Save failure sets for occasional intensity, not every workout. Your body needs stimulus, not destruction. Myth number 15. Cardio before weights burns more fat. People start their gym session with 30 to 60 minutes of cardio, then lift weights, believing this maximizes fat burning. This is exactly backwards for most goals. Doing intense cardio first depletes glycogen and energy, meaning your weight training suffers. You lift less weight, perform fewer reps, and can't stimulate muscle growth effectively. Muscle building is what drives long-term fat loss by increasing metabolic rate. Better approach? Lift weights first when energy is high, maximizing performance and muscle stimulus. Then do cardio if needed, or separate them entirely, weights in the morning, cardio in the evening. That pre-weight cardio session is sabotaging your strength training, which is more important for body composition than the cardio itself. Do first things first, and strength training is first. Myth number 16. Stretching before exercise prevents injury. Static stretching before working out has been standard advice forever. Touch your toes, hold for 30 seconds, repeat. New research shows this might actually increase injury risk and decrease performance. Static stretching before training temporarily reduces force production and power output. You're literally making yourself weaker before training. Better approach: dynamic warm-up, movement-based preparation, then train, then static stretch during cool-down when muscles are warm. The injury prevention comes from proper warm-up, progressive overload, and good form, not from holding static stretches. That 10-minute stretching routine before squats? You're making yourself weaker and more injury-prone. Move dynamically to prepare for movement. Stretch statically when finished. Myth number 17. Light weights for toning, heavy weights for bulking. This is the most pervasive myth in fitness. Light weights with high reps for toning, heavy weights with low reps for bulking. This false dichotomy has ruined countless programs. Toning isn't a physiological process. It's muscle definition. which requires building muscle and losing fat. Both happen through progressive overload, gradually increasing weight or reps, and proper nutrition. Light weights with high reps build muscular endurance, but don't maximally stimulate muscle growth. Heavy weights, relative to your strength, build muscle. You control whether you bulk or tone through diet, not rep ranges. Want to look toned? Build muscle with challenging weights, reduce body fat with diet. Those pink dumbbells, they're not making you toned, they're making you weak while going nowhere. Myth number 18. Muscle confusion prevents plateaus. The muscle confusion concept says you must constantly change exercises to shock muscles and prevent adaptation. Programs built on this principle have you doing different workouts every session. This prevents progress rather than enhancing it. Muscles don't get confused, they get stronger through progressive overload and adaptation. Constantly changing exercises prevents you from tracking progress, mastering movements, or systematically overloading muscles. You're always a beginner at everything, never getting good at anything. Adaptation isn't the enemy, it's literally the goal. You want your body to adapt by getting stronger. Real plateaus break through progressive overload variation, not exercise randomization. That program with a new workout every day, you're spinning wheels, not building strength. Master movements, progress systematically, vary when you actually stall, not preemptively to prevent the adaptation you're trying to create.
Myth 19. You can't build muscle in a calorie deficit. Conventional wisdom says muscle building requires caloric surplus, bulking. Fat loss requires deficit, cutting. And never shall they meet. This is overly simplistic. Beginners, returning lifters, and overweight individuals absolutely can build muscle in a deficit. This is called body recomposition. Your body can use stored fat for energy while using dietary protein to build muscle tissue. It's slower than dedicated bulk and cut phases, but it happens. Advanced lifters with low body fat have the hardest time with this. That belief you must bulk, gain fat, to build any muscle? False. You can get leaner and stronger simultaneously, especially if you're not already lean and advanced. The bulk-cut dichotomy is real for advanced bodybuilders chasing maximum size, but most people can recomp successfully. Stop using bulking as an excuse to eat garbage. Myth number 20. Squats are bad for your knees. Squats will ruin your knees is medical advice from doctors who don't understand biomechanics. This myth has prevented countless people from doing one of the most beneficial exercises. Squats done with proper form actually strengthen knees by building supporting musculature, improving joint stability, and increasing bone density. What injures knees is squatting with terrible form, excessive load beyond your capacity, or pre-existing injuries being aggravated by any movement. Studies show properly performed squats are safer than most daily activities. Avoiding squats makes your knees weaker and more injury-prone long-term. That doctor who told you squats are bad for your knees? They're protecting themselves from liability, not giving you optimal advice. Your knees are joints designed for loaded flexion. Squatting is what they evolved to do. Bad squats hurt knees. Good squats protect them. Myth number 21. You need to change your workout every few weeks. Fitness magazines preach new workout every month to ensure you never master anything and make minimal progress. Beginners especially suffer from this advice. Effective programs run for 8 to 12 plus weeks with progressive overload, gradually increasing weight, reps, or volume on the same exercises. This allows you to master movements, track progress accurately, and systematically overload muscles. Changing constantly prevents the consistency necessary for adaptation. You're supposed to repeat workouts with slight progression. That's how training works. When progress actually stalls, weeks without improvement, then you change variables. That monthly workout rotation? You're sabotaging yourself with variety that prevents the progressive overload that builds strength. Boring consistency beats exciting randomness every time.
Myth number 22. Eating after 6 p.m. makes you fat. The myth that eating at night causes fat gain has ruined the social lives and created unnecessary restriction. Don't eat carbs after 6 p.m. is pervasive diet advice. Your body doesn't have a clock that turns food into fat at sunset. Fat gain is determined by total daily caloric intake, not meal timing. You can eat your entire day's calories at 10 p.m. and lose weight if you're in a deficit. You can eat breakfast only and gain weight if you're in a surplus. Meal timing has minimal impact on body composition compared to total calories and macronutrients. Where this myth has a grain of truth, people who eat late often overeat because they're snacking on top of full daily calories. The problem is overeating, not the clock. That arbitrary cutoff time? Meaningless. Stop avoiding dinner with friends because you're scared of evening calories. Track your total intake, not the time displayed when you eat. Myth number 23. Yoga and Pilates are enough for fitness. Yoga and Pilates are beneficial for flexibility, mobility, mind-body connection, and light strength. Treating them as complete fitness programs is leaving massive gaps in your physical development. Neither provides significant progressive overload from muscle building, cardiovascular conditioning, or maximum strength development. They're excellent supplements to a resistance training program, but insufficient as standalone fitness. You need resistance training that can be progressively loaded, cardiovascular work at varying intensities, and mobility work. Yoga Pilates cover mobility and light strength, but you're missing the stimulus needed for bone density, muscle mass, and metabolic health. That yoga body you see, often from people who also lift weights, do cardio, and diet, not from yoga alone. Yoga is dessert, not the meal. Myth number 24. You need to drink a gallon of water daily. Drink a gallon of water a day is thrown around as universal advice. People force-feed themselves water and pee every 20 minutes thinking it's healthy. Your water needs are individual and variable. Hydration needs depend on body weight, activity level, climate, diet, and sweat rate. Some people need more, some people need less. The color of your urine is a better indicator than arbitrary volume targets. Light yellow means adequate hydration. Overhydration is real and can be dangerous, diluting electrolytes and causing hyponatremia. Your thirst mechanism works. Drink when thirsty, more around training, more in heat. That gallon jug you're forcing down? Possibly unnecessary and definitely annoying. Drink enough to stay hydrated based on your actual needs, not some influencer's one-size-fits-all number. Your kidneys would appreciate not working overtime.
Myth number 25. Running is bad for your joints. Running destroys your knees, keeps people from beneficial cardio. This myth is based on the logical-seeming idea that repetitive impact must cause damage. Research shows the opposite. Studies show runners have healthier knee cartilage and lower rates of arthritis than sedentary people. Running strengthens bones, cartilage, and connective tissue through adaptive stress. What causes injury is doing too much too soon, running with terrible form, or running through pre-existing injuries. Start gradually, build mileage progressively, listen to your body. Running is safe and beneficial for joints. The bad for your knees myth comes from people who injured themselves through overtraining, not from running itself. That excuse to avoid cardio? Baseless. Your joints are designed for locomotion. They get weaker from disuse, not stronger from avoidance. Myth number 26. BMI accurately measures health. Medical professionals and insurance companies use BMI, body mass index, as a health metric. It's a height-to-weight ratio that completely ignores body composition. It's nearly useless for individuals. BMI categorizes muscular athletes as overweight or obese because muscle weighs more than fat. It classifies skinny fat people, low muscle, high body fat percentage, as healthy because they weigh less. It doesn't take into account age, sex, bone structure, or where fat is stored. It was created for population studies, not individual health assessment. That obese classification because you lift weights? Meaningless. That healthy classification despite high body fat? Misleading. Body composition, muscle-to-fat ratio, waist circumference, metabolic health markers, and performance are far better indicators than BMI. Stop letting a century-old population statistic determine your individual health perception. Myth number 27. Detox cleanses help training recovery. After a weekend of bad eating, people do detox cleanses or buy supplements promising to purge toxins and reset their system. This is profitable pseudoscience with no physiological basis. Your liver and kidneys are your detox organs. They work 24/7 without needing juice cleanses or expensive pills. Toxins is a vague term these products never define. Cleanses typically cause weight loss through caloric restriction and dehydration, not detoxification. Your body doesn't accumulate waste that requires flushing beyond what your organs naturally do. That post-binge cleanse? You're just restricting calories and calling it purification. Want to detox? Eat whole foods, drink water, sleep well, and let your organs do their job. That $200 cleanse program is selling you what your body does for free while making you nutritionally deficient and miserable. Myth number 28. Weightlifting stunts growth in teenagers. Parents keep teenagers away from weights, believing it will stunt their growth. This myth has prevented young athletes from building strength during their most responsive years. It's completely false. No evidence shows proper resistance training affects growth. Impact, compression, and resistance training actually stimulate bone growth and increase bone density, making bones stronger, not shorter. What might affect growth? Severe malnutrition, excessive caloric deficit, hormonal issues, or catastrophic injury not training-related. Gymnastics, weightlifting, and other sports with young athletes don't show stunted growth. That teenager who should be building strength, you're handicapping their athletic development based on a myth with zero scientific support. Proper training with appropriate loads makes teenagers stronger, more resilient, and better prepared for sports and life. Myth number 29. Lifting belts are cheating or evidence you're weak. Some people view lifting belts as cheating or evidence you're not strong enough. If you need a belt, you're not strong enough is common gatekeeping. This is ego-driven nonsense. Belts increase intra-abdominal pressure, stabilizing your spine and allowing you to lift heavier weights more safely. They're a tool, not a crutch. Elite powerlifters, strongmen, and weightlifters all use belts for maximum attempts. Using a belt doesn't replace core training. It augments it by allowing you to train heavier and more safely. Going beltless has its place in training, but refusing to use a belt ever is limiting your strength development out of misplaced pride. That person who said belts are cheating, they're either misinformed or insecure about their own numbers. Use appropriate tools for the job. Nobody's handing out medals for making training unnecessarily dangerous. Myth number 30. Muscle soreness means you're building muscle. The phytomyth, soreness equals growth. People believe DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, is proof their workout was effective. Soreness and muscle growth are related but not directly correlated. You can build massive amounts of muscle with minimal soreness once adapted to training. Soreness primarily indicates you did something unfamiliar or excessive, novel stimulus, higher volume, or new exercise. As you adapt, soreness decreases while muscle growth continues. Conversely, you can be incredibly sore from a terrible workout that builds nothing. Soreness measures novelty and damage, not growth stimulus. Chasing soreness leads to constantly changing programs and overtraining. That lack of soreness from your regular program, it means you're adapted and progressing efficiently. Stop judging workout quality by next-day pain. Judge it by progressive overload and performance improvements over weeks and months.
So, there you have it. 30 gym myths that have been sabotaging progress and filling supplement companies' bank accounts for decades. The fitness industry thrives on confusion, complexity, and constantly changing advice that keeps you buying products and programs without ever mastering the basics. The truth is boring. Progressive overload, adequate protein, caloric balance for your goals, consistency, and patience. No magic timing, no special supplements, no secret exercises. Just work, food, sleep, repeat. Which myth have you been following religiously? Which one made you realize you've been wasting time? Drop your confession in the comments. And if this just saved you years of spinning your wheels, hit that like button and subscribe. Because the gym doesn't need to be this complicated, but someone profits from convincing you it is. Now, go lift something heavy with proper form and stop overthinking it.